Before we get started with this third example, we've got two theorems we need to read through. The geometric mean altitude theorem says that the altitude drawn to the hypotenuse of a right triangle separates the hypotenuse into two segments. The length of the altitude is the geometric mean between the two segments. And then theorem 8.3 says that the altitude drawn to the hypotenuse of a right triangle separates the hypotenuse into two segments. The length of a leg of this triangle is the geometric mean of the length of the hypotenuse and the segment of the hypotenuse that's adjacent to that leg. So B is the geometric mean of X and C, and then A is the geometric mean of Y and C. So we'll use each of those as we go through this example. So as that theorem 8.2 says, the length of the altitude drawn from the hypotenuse of a right triangle is the geometric mean of the two segments of the hypotenuse. So we can say that E is equal to the positive square root of 6 and 24. So we'll multiply these through. 6 times 4 is 24, carrying a 2. 6 times 2 is 12, plus the 2, 144. The positive square root of 144 is 12, so we can say that E is 12. Now we also want to find D. D, we'll use that theorem 8.3. That's a leg of the right triangle. That leg is equal to the geometric mean of the hypotenuse. In this case, the hypotenuse is 30 because 6 plus 24 is 30. So it's the geometric mean of 30 and the adjacent segment of the hypotenuse, in this case 6. So we can say D is the positive square root of 180. If we want to simplify that square root, we've got a perfect square factor of 36. So if we break it down to 36 times 5, then we can say that D is equal to the square root of 36, which is 6, square root 5. And then to find C, C is a leg of the right triangle, and it will be equal to, it's the geometric mean of the hypotenuse, in this case 30, and the segment of the hypotenuse, which is closest to it, the adjacent segment, so that 24. So C is the geometric mean of 30 and 24, so it's the positive square root of their product. We multiply 3 times 24, we get 72, so 30 times 24 is 720. The biggest perfect square factor of 720 is 144. 144 times 5 is what gives us 720. So C is equal to the square root of 144, that's 12, times the square root of 5. So we have found C, D, and E.